When your elite receiver lines up on the line, they can break the game open at any moment. Elite receivers can dominate week in, week out, throw up 100 yards, a touchdown seemingly every week. But once in a blue moon, out of nowhere, they have absolute stinkers. The games where a defense completely sells out to stop them, game plans to get rid of them, completely ruining his day and your fantasy Sunday. Today, we'll dive into 3 different times teams shut down 3 elites, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Davante Adams. But before we do, I have an announcement. Well, folks, if you wanted another pasty white guy on camera instead of the actual football content you just clicked on, here I am. And what's better yet, we have a sponsored ad from PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports site where you can pick players every day and win money every day. With football already started, this is my time to shine. And the way it works is you choose 2 to 6 players and select whether or not you think they will go more or less than their projection. For week 1, PrizePicks is giving us a free square for Caleb Williams, setting his number at 0.5 passing yards. You can take that one straight to the purse. And when he hits a single yard, PrizePicks will count that as a free square for the first 4 Sundays every week in September. So every week you literally just need one more guy. And what's fun is you can take total fantasy scores too, so I'll take Tyreek Hill for more against Jacksonville. If you hit on all 6, you can literally win 25 times your money. They have weekly promotionals, they have Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday, an entry can be made in literally 60 seconds or less, and they offer safe and fast withdrawals. PrizePicks is doing their best offer yet, where you go to prizepicks.com/Rollins and use code Rollins to get $50 in free lineups by just putting in $5. You can click the link in the description, go to the app and type in the code, which once again is code Rollins. You would think it's as easy as just doubling a guy and saying, hey, we're going to take 2 of our guys and put them on their guy, but that has serious ramifications. In football, I like to say that defenses have one guy called a joker who they can use in many different ways. How they use the joker defines what they want to do on defense. If we're playing man coverage across the board, we should always keep at least one safety deep as insurance, help over the top. Our joker is the guy that shows the defense's intentions. If we have him playing too deep, we're defending the deep pass, but we're light against the run and have less help underneath. If we have him play underneath, we have help in the middle, but still only have one high safety, so there's not much help vertically outside. If we have him blitz, once again, that's even more pressure one-on-one. So if we have him double just one guy, we're still one-on-one everywhere else, and light against the run, and have limited help deep and underneath. You must have an extremely solid plan for the rest of your defense if you're going to commit to double teams throughout the game, which is why each defense we'll study today made subtle tweaks in their own respective games to stop these 3 elites. Against the Lions in 2022, Detroit held Justin Jefferson to just 3 catches on 6 targets for 14 yards. They used cover 1 double jersey number, the most straight up and the most defensively limiting type of double team in the book, because you're using 2 guys on their guy no matter what. This is a Bill Belichick classic. It's cover 1, meaning man coverage with 1 deep safety, and then since Jefferson's jersey number is 18, it's cover 1 double 18 no matter what. Structurally speaking, it's not too difficult to double a guy when he's lining up outside every snap, where typically you'll have a cornerback playing low and outside, so any outbreakers, then a safety playing high and inside, ready to take away any inbreakers over the middle or nail down on any quick slants or crossers. Obviously, this makes it much more difficult on Jefferson because he has to literally beat 2 guys. And it's obviously easier on the defenders because it's cutting each of their responsibilities essentially in half. To counter these doubles, coaches have gotten smarter and are moving guys around more than ever, whereas in the past, they just keep them in one position, outside and to the left, every play, but now they'll bump them into the slot and also put them in motion. On 3rd and 5 with Jefferson inside here, the Lions are playing the same cover 1 double 18, but look how hard it is to double him. This is more of an inside-out bracket to keep him from picking up the quick first down, but he almost splits him right down the middle deep. However, Kirk doesn't throw it to him. When setting out to stop these top-tier guys, you're committing extra practice time not just to work your different types of double teams, but also the specialty plays these monsters run as well. We've seen Davante run this in the past in the 2020 divisional round, and the Rams didn't have an answer. Well, the Lions know to use their safety to essentially double Jefferson since the manned-up cornerback can't follow him through all this traffic underneath, and Detroit shuts his mother down. However, the Vikings won this game 28-24, which shows us, in our Jamar Chase example as well, when defenses commit all these resources to selling out to stop the offense's number one, if you have a number two who can win his matchups, that's when we see a T. Higgins-type blow-up. In Week 2, 2023, Chase didn't have the worst game ever, 5 catches for 31 yards against the Ravens, but Higgins went off for 8 catches, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You have to sacrifice to take Chase out of the game. The Ravens used much more cover 2 zone, which allowed them to still play within a normal typical structure, rather than just moving their joker all around matching wherever Chase was. Their joker played the second safety deep in cover 2 zone, and what made Baltimore's plan effective, they used coverage disguises to drop into these cover 2 zones, making it harder for Joe Burrow to read the coverage before the snap, which also affected Chase. Here this looks like tight man coverage with one high safety, meaning Chase thinks he's going to be one-on-one in man, so he'll try and win outside on the speed route away from the safety, but the cover 2 zone cornerback is playing underneath, sitting in his zone. Chase gets delayed off the line because he has to release inside instead of outside, and he has the second safety over the top of him anyway, so Burrow has to look elsewhere. When the Ravens used more traditional double teams, as I said, it opened everything else up for the other receivers since they're getting those one-on-ones. Quarterbacks are trained to first look at the weak safety, often the joker, right after the snap, because he's the clearest indication of what the defense is doing in coverage. The strong safety is a safety that lines up over the side with more receivers, and the weak safety, as I said, sometimes the joker, lines up where there are less of them. So when Burrow takes a snap and sees the weak joker safety doubling Chase, he knows he has one-on-ones across the board because the Ravens simply don't have enough other bodies in coverage. Baltimore showed Burrow a ton of different double teams, whether it was the straight doubles or the cover 2 zone pseudo doubles, and they also knew how to play off of those looks to fool him. They know his read key is the weak joker safety over Chase, so right at the snap, the safety turns towards Chase to make Burrow scan back to the other side. He's thinking, Chase is doubled, I'm not throwing over there, which forces his read away from the safety, who easily comes back and picks it off. Deception was the name of the game for the Ravens to stop Chase. Pre-snap, they'd show him one thing, like here one high safety, so Burrow is thinking, okay, it looks like they're playing zone with the cornerback off. Typically, that means cover 3 zone with 3 deep, both cornerbacks back, so the quick out to Chase is money every time. But when the Ravens roll into cover 2 zone again, meaning the cornerback is responsible for the flat and not deep, Burrow has to come off Chase again. Baltimore even went as far to invent some coverages for him that I've never seen before. Tampa 2 zone is 2 deep cover 2 zone with a middle defender kinda guarding the center gap between the safeties. But instead, they put him on Chase in man, designing new coverages to take care of the Bengals' elite guy, and it worked. The Ravens won 27-24 in Week 2, which transitions us to another 2023 game, the Raiders upsetting the Chiefs 20-14 last year in Week 16. However, Davante Adams had just 1 catch for 4 yards. The Chiefs played him more similar to how the Lions played Jefferson than the Ravens played Chase, except the Chiefs used a ton of press coverage to pound him at the line, knowing that L'Jarius Sneed has a second guy in case the press doesn't work. The Chiefs' plan was to take Davante's strength, his releases at the line of scrimmage, and make them his weakness. They mixed up a few looks to throw off his timing, like when they used Sneed to look like he was going to press him. Sneed gets his foot back all ready to go like he always does when he's pressing, which throws off Davante just a touch, even though he still gains a little separation against his cover 2 zone look. The Chiefs also made it a point to play tighter coverage underneath on him too. Here's his only catch where they're playing this match zone like they like to play, Match zone is still zone coverage, so you're still guarding an area, but it's got some man principles where you're not fully looking at the quarterback, you're more playing the concepts. Well, the Chiefs don't just have a game plan they made before the game they adhered to, they adjusted theirs in game 2 as well. So you can see Nick Bolton alert Willie Gay that the same concept is coming, and they blanket Adams. Of the 3 games we talked about, the team with the elite receiver won 2 of them. Yes, it's important to take away an offense's best weapon and make them beat you with their second best guy, not first. But when you go to these extreme lengths to do so, it doesn't always work out. This is why we don't see it happen as often, and especially don't see it when a team has a second good receiver. When the Joker is over Chase, Adams, and Jetta's every snap, you're literally telling the quarterback to target the second receiver every single time. So while your elite guy might not be eating, at least at the end of the day, he's eating W's. This is why having one of these elites is so important. Defenses will design their entire game plan around him. I had to go back to find extremely specific examples of when teams actually did shut these guys down, because Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Davante Adams are so good that sometimes even when teams do double them, they still explode.